Welcome to the Can Wine Podcast, where we open cans of wine and talk about it. We're almost in the middle of Season 4 at Episode 19, and we're continuing our Cantastic journey, which this week takes us to northeastern Italy. But before we get to that, we need to talk about our wine nerd word of the week, and that would be typicity. And as you can imagine, typicity is a word that means that the wine tastes like where it comes from or the style that it's made in. So if you have a wine that comes from the Prosecco region, if it expressed a lot of typicity, it would be a straight up Prosecco. So that's our word of the week, is typicity. And our Cantastic journey continues to Italy, but also we have a simultaneous opening with our friends in Saskatchewan. Are you there, Catherine?
I am here, Brad.
Oh, it's good to hear from you. And how's the weather in Saskatchewan today?
A lovely winter day today. A bit below zero and sunny and no wind. Lovely.
We started out below zero and then we got up to a balmy 45 degrees. It was a real transition day. We had fog. You couldn't see the bottom of the valley here. And it wasn't quite hard to drive, but if it had got a little bit thicker, if it was at night, it would have been. And by lunchtime, the sun came out and things looked pretty good. So we're happy about that. And this weekend, they say we're going to get up, I think 57, 58, which I think that would be 12 or 14 Celsius with potentially an inch or so of rain. So that'll take all the snow away. It was melting pretty good today. We had some real muddy stuff going on, and down here everybody's starting to put away their Christmas lights, which is kind of a disappointment because it's so darn dark. Not as dark as you were saying up there, but the days are not that long, and it's just nice to have some light. So in my studio here, I'm actually hanging on to a bit of that holiday feeling with a series of lights just around the window just to cheer me up, you know. And speaking of a holiday feeling and holiday spirit, what is our can of the week? Can you introduce what we have today?
Yeah, I absolutely can. We're a little bit late for New Year's, but Happy New Year anyway. So we're going to be opening and talking about the Ciao Secco Frizante, which is semi-sparkling white. It comes in a 200 ml can and is 10.5% alcohol per ml.
Yeah, and it's a 200 milliliter can, so it's a kind of a short format. For those of you that are good with math, a standard bottle is 750 milliliters, so it would take approximately 4 of these to equal one bottle of wine, which is a nice size, really. It's a nice, neat glass, and with the 10.5, it wouldn't be overwhelming. You could drink a couple of these and still cook your dinner, I think, if that's what you're doing. Yeah. Now this comes from.
I've already eaten, so this is just going to be enjoying it after dinner.
Exactly. Now this comes from the Veneto region of northeastern Italy, which is sort of west and inland from Venice. It's famous for its Prosecco, although this is not a Prosecco. Were you able to find out what kind of grapes they were?
Is it Glera? Is that how you say it?
Yeah, Glera, which in fact is the grape typically used in Prosecco. So we have a wine that's in the style of Prosecco from the region of Prosecco with those grapes. So one would expect it to have a certain amount of typicity.
I can't remember the word. What is it?
Typicity. So.
Typicity.
Exactly. Now, where did we round this up? Well, I think I found this at the MLCC on 10th Street. Catherine, you know where that is. For anybody else in the blogosphere or whatever we call the listeners, those of you listening at home, this is a product of the Manitoba Liquor Control Commission, which is the state entity that sells all the liquor in Manitoba. I picked it up when I was back this summer and was able to get it to you as you blasted through Brandon earlier there. So that's my best guess, because I don't see it around here, and I don't think I bought it. But this is widely available. In fact, when I was looking online, there was a lot of Japanese sites that had this exact wine. So it must be popular in Japan as well. So, and it's fairly light and things like that. So it should go with a variety of things. But I'm getting a bit ahead of myself. It's a nice black can with some nice artwork on it. I don't know if there's any discernible dates or anything on it other than 938. So 0938, whatever that means. It appealed to me because it was available. There's not a lot of canned wine in the MLCC, but this one was. I have heard that that name of DeLuca's on Portage Avenue in Winnipeg has a decent selection of canned wine at their wine outlet. More cans, so I think you were saying that in.
I will do the same.
What's that?
I'll do the same.
Yeah,
Manitoba's a lot closer to me than New York, so I actually have a chance of getting this. I'm hoping I like it.
True, and the you were saying that in Saskatchewan, it's pretty slim pickings to get canned wine these days.
Yeah, not much at all. There's some sort of canned wine spritzers, or sort of like one was like that I saw was like a cherry cola wine product. I don't know.
Yeah.
What it tasted like. So, but not just straight up kind of wine.
Well, it certainly wouldn't be good as a hard root beer or whatever that one was that you picked up when you were in Calgary.
Yeah, that was really good.
Yeah.
That was really good.
But yeah, it's the market is changing, and the overall, if you gaze into the crystal ball from what I've been seeing and with the international competition, it's really moving more towards a crafty kind of beverage. I mean, these sort of ready-to-drink things are great, but things like Makers and the small winery places are making really good quality wines in a small format like that. And it's not immune to market forces like box wines and the small box wines. And I go into my local wine and liquor store here, Row 13. They've decided not to. They have ready-to-drink cocktails, but they don't keep any wine. Now, they have an extensive wine selection, but not in cans, although they do have some, what I think are rather interesting, for a number of reasons, very small bottles, like a 200 milliliter bottle of wine. It's so heavy. I mean, there's more bottle than there's wine there, so it makes.
Yeah, I did see some of those at Christmas time, sort of up near the front, near the tills. So clearly kind of marketed as stocking stuffers, I would say.
Oh, I hadn't thought of that.
When you compare the price of one of these small bottles compared to just a regular size bottle, it's actually quite expensive. If you were to buy the equivalent number of small bottles, it would be maybe double the price of a regular size bottle.
And I think keeping with the craft wine thing, it's not so much to be a price point as it is to be something unusual and something you can get in a small format that's real tasty. So I think that's the way it's going, because I went around a couple of my usual, I call it the trap line, the places that I get it, and they still have Dark Horse and some of the other 355 mLs, which here are quite competitive at around, I'd say $4.50 to $5 for half a bottle of wine, which is 355 mLs. So that's very competitive, but they're kind of bulk wines, like it's Pinot Gris or some red blends and things like that. So they're wines you could drink every day if you wanted, but not something you'd be like, oh, I can't wait to get to that Pinot Noir or that dry Riesling we had. Now that was something extraordinary. It was quite good and came in a nice format, and I really enjoyed it. Like you said, I could have used another couple of those.
Yep.
But we've digressed a little bit, and we are now at the beginning of the new year. We have a pretty fantastic lineup here. We've already done some NA beverages, which are turning out to be very interesting. We had a Blanc de Blanc, which was a champagne style last week from Buzzkill, or last episode. We're going to be a little bit quicker than a week now because I'm trying to keep up with some of the traditional wines, because NA is great, but we also want to maintain our canned wine openings with regular wine. So that's why we're doing what we're doing here. So with that said, would you like to do what we do on the Canned Wine Podcast?
I sure would.
Which is open a can of wine. So I'm going to give you a quick 4 count, and then we'll do it. 4,
okay, let's go.
3, 2, 1. Well, it's a very vigorous carbonation. You had said in your research that it was the Charmat method that they used, which is a sealed container, and the carbonation it comes into it naturally, which gives you this really good bubbling, which I'm trying to remember. There's a French word for that. It might come to me later. They say the smells you might have is apples, pears, citrus. I'm smelling all of that. What are you getting there, Catherine?
Yeah, I'm definitely getting. Personally, I'm getting the apple quite strongly. Lemon zest was the other thing. I'm not smelling that. I'm not smelling that so much. I'm really smelling the apple, but I haven't had a sip yet. So.
Took my first sip, and it's dry, hence the name Secco. And it also is a fairly thin-bodied wine, I would say. The color is a sandy yellow. It's not the golden of the last wine that we opened up, which was, it was made with Chardonnay grapes, which give you that more golden color. But I'm liking it.
This is quite pale.
Not as dry as that Riesling we tried a couple episodes back. But
nice, very light and refreshing.
Drinking, very drinkable. The French term for this type of bubbling is, I don't know if everybody could see that, pearlage. Pearlage. And this certainly has some pearlage, I would say. Serve cold, which I did. I had this in the fridge for a while.
Me too.
I don't know the calories on this. It doesn't really matter to me that much. It might be...
It doesn't matter to me either.
There's something here, kilojoules per 63 kilocalories or something. I don't know how to translate that into something useful. I suspect it's probably around 100 calories, but not as dry as some of the stuff we had. The last NA I had was only 45 calories and 250 mLs. So they had really came up with a very dry and sugar-free formula for that one. So what would you pair this with? Well, the recommendations were white meats, chickens and things like that, grilled vegetables, soup, salad. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, they've got on the website I was on that with a light meal, fried appetizers, or Parmesan cheese, which I can get down. I can get behind anything that goes with cheese. So
Yeah, how about some
Yeah, maybe some fried cheese.
stuffed shells with broccoli and cheese inside of them? That would be nice. I have a bit
This
of a
actually would have been lovely on Christmas Eve with appetizers, I think.
true. Or how about some dark chocolate? Let's keep it real here. Somebody gave us a bunch of really nice Lindt. They're kind of a dark chocolate ball with dark chocolate inside it. Oh my God, those are so yummy. But
Yum. Yeah, I think I'm out of all my Christmas chocolate. I'd have to break into the bag of chocolate chips if I want chocolate with this tonight.
what is the great mystery treat that I'm going to have with this? For those of you that are watching at home, and Catherine, you already know what this looks like. Exactly. Even the kiddies like it. It's
Yep.
nuts and bolts, which is a Canadian holiday treat
Yeah.
made from a traditional recipe that has all kind of great cereal in it, and butter, and onion salt, and garlic salt, and Worcester sauce, and every kind of good thing that everybody's mom made. And just to get the people in Canada riled up here, I got some bugles in there too. So
I don't think we can get those here anymore.
that's what I've heard. Other people say no bugles for you.
Huh. Well, if I find any, I'm going to buy some.
It took me a while to
Come
find
on
them.
my fingers.
Yeah, exactly. They say it's the number one. My fingers are a little bit too big, but people with nails could probably put these on your fingers and goof around with them.
I watched the final episode of Stranger Things. So I was watching it with my sister and her husband over the holidays, and I will not give away any spoilers, but they do crack open a box of bugles or a bag of bugles in one of the episodes, and so I thought maybe there'll be the Stranger Things effect, and we'll get bugles back again. We'll see. Fingers crossed.
Well, I will check before I cross the border the next time. And to me, it seems worth it for the $30 extra bag to just bring a bag full of bugles. I mean, you know how the fish guy comes to town and everybody meets him at the Canadian Tire parking lot. I could be the bugle guy and bring bugles back.
We'll all buy bugles off you. We can make a tidy profit, I think.
I just would like to pay for the cost of my the cost of buying them and then paying $30 to ship them, because these airlines gouge you for every bag that you carry now. So, but it does happen. We had a around, I think it was definitely for Thanksgiving, American Thanksgiving, and then for Halloween, we had a couple of pumpkins on the front step, because that's what you do. You get a pumpkin and you put it out, and it's nice, and it's very seasonal, and they're quite reasonable at the grocery store. So we put them out, but I noticed that the squirrels were starting to nibble on them and stuff, and I thought I'll put them out by the compost and let whoever comes around, because we have some squirrels here that I first thought they were aggressive, but I think they're actually just habituated and not quite domesticated. They like to come around, and they're not really scared of you at all. They'll look at you and wait for you to feed them. So I do have.
I've got one like that too, who's very demanding.
We do have some cameras outside that pick up motion and make videotapes and pictures of it. So we put it out back, and it was there not quite a week, and then I noticed that it had been moved. And then over the next 3 nights, it turned into like a pumpkin smashing party from a group of deer that came onto it. Our usual deer, who her name is Kennedy, and she has it's maybe a year and a half, like a much younger daughter that comes with her and hangs around. And then there's this other pair of older ones. They might be older daughters of Kennedy, I don't know, but they're full-size deer, and they hang together. So Kennedy and her daughter came, and then the two twins showed up, and over the next 2 or 3 days, they smashed and crashed and ate up all the pumpkins. So it was kind of entertaining, although I never saw it in real time because they're usually here between 11 and 2 in the morning, and I'm not usually looking out at the window, and they're very quiet too. But they gobbled it all up and were quite happy about it. So now I'm just hoping to get some more pictures of, we've seen a possum, which is kind of unusual. Raccoons, we have a really big raccoon, a skunk that doesn't have the traditional skunk markings. It has kind of a white cap on its head and no stripe. And what else do we have? Squirrels, and then the deer. So that's the whole gang. We're much closer to the water than we were up on Blue Mountain because we're right close to a place called George's Island, which is I think that's a county park. And then there's also Montrose Point Park, which is near here. So several hundred acres of parks, and then it backs onto a government Veterans Affairs Hospital, which is maybe 300 acres. So all around us are these wooded park areas. So these animals, we noticed they're substantially larger than the ones that used to visit us when we lived in Croton. So there's always something going on. Still enjoying the...
Nice. I mean, I'm close to a park here, but I'm just being maybe about 2 blocks away from the edge of the park, and with a busy street between me and the park. I see lots of wildlife when I'm walking to work, but not on my front doorstep, which is fine. I don't really need a coyote on my doorstep.
This Prosecco really brings out the butter flavor in the nuts and bolts.
To get back to what we're supposed to be talking about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll have to rename it to the Canned Wine and Cats and Miscellaneous Animal Podcast.
Yeah.
There is a little bit of legs on this too. I mean, at 10.5, it's not much, but it is crawling up the glass a little bit. Although the 200 milliliters is a fairly small format.
It is, yeah. And I was actually thinking, I'm going to see, my sister lives not too far from the 10th Street LC. I'm going to get her to do a little reconnaissance mission and see if she can pick up a few of these for me.
The ones they do have,
they might not be.
The other one she could pick up if you want to join in, because I did have some that I didn't give to you, are the Keep Calm and Drink Wine, or whatever the brand is. There's a white and a rosé that was in a 200 milliliter can. Those are available. I know that Jamie, the guy from Gimli, he has some of them too. So we're planning on doing those later. But there's no reason why we couldn't have a Gimli, Regina, New York mashup, and we could all enjoy a glass of wine.
Yeah, or if I don't get it in time, I can just watch the podcast and drink along.
Make clever comments. Speaking of which, I'd like to thank everybody who's been making comments. And I don't know if you saw the last episode. I went to our local kind of a restore, retake place, and they have a big box of fantastic old 1960s and 70s Kodachrome type of postcards that nobody's actually used. So this one is a Miner's Castle. The Pictured Rocks National Lakeshore Park provides an area of unique beauty along the shores of Lake Superior between Munsing and Grand Marais in Michigan's Upper Peninsula. So anybody who's looking, you can see that. And if you want to answer the head scratcher or subscribe or something like that, I'll hunt you down and send you this postcard directly from New York. You'll not only have a cool postcard from New York, you'll also have something like this, where it's a picture of whales having fun off the Massachusetts coast. Stuff like that. And Remake doesn't give stuff away, but it's very thrifty, and they have some real cool stuff there. Like, if you can imagine everybody's half leftover craft projects, that's where they end up. if you want some washi tape, you want some those things you can print your own business cards on a inkjet printer. They got all that stuff. Just all, and I don't know if they're teachers, but whatever they are good at sorting stuff out, and they'll tell you, oh, that's over there. So I actually picked up a 3D printing pen that just squirts out thin filaments of plastic, and you can make whatever you want with it without a computer, So they have good stuff, and they let it go quickly. So anybody that wants to answer our head scratchers, happy to do that. Our shout out for this week goes to, of course, all the listeners who have already done that. It's fun. I like to send postcards. I don't think I'm going to save the postal service by doing it, but if you send a postcard to your friend or a letter, it certainly helps the postal system out, and that's a valuable asset for us. So I'm enjoying sending them, and I put in a note and thank you for your comments and stuff like that. So also to Paul Brady Wines in Beacon, New York. Right now I'm wearing the Manhattan style canned wine podcast cadet cap. I was talking to Paul, whose mission is to feature all kind of wines in New York. And one thing I was reading about that too, about New York wines, in 1996 there was only 40 wineries left in New York, and now we're at over 400. So there's a real movement to grow a lot of grapes and make wine in New York. And it's not just the Finger Lake region. There's a lot up towards Niagara, the Niagara area, and Long Island. There's whole areas, even on, not so much on the Hudson Highlands, but more inland, almost towards the Berkshires. There's a couple of, there's Clinton Vineyards and some places like that. Do they have cans? Not necessarily, but they still make great wine. Even the Slate Hill Winery over across the river, we featured their stuff, and we'll continue to do that. So, but Paul Brady swapped knit caps with me, so he now has the official canned wine toque. And when I'm featuring something, some of the cans that I picked up at his shop, I'll be wearing his as they call it here, a knit cap. Or I think he even mentioned that he was from Michigan and they called it a toque there as well. So all cool and all wine related. So that's who our shout out goes to this week. Our head scratcher, right up your alley, Catherine. And just because you showed up on the Canned Wine Podcast and help us so much to produce these things, doesn't mean you can't log in or however you get YouTubes and leave us a comment, and I'll send you a postcard too, 100%. Anyways, our head scratcher is, what area in Italy does today's wine come from? What is the name of the area that this wine comes from? And I'll even give you a secondary bonus if you can let me know the type of grape that it's made from. So that's our 2 head scratchers, a double header. We can send out 2 postcards to the first people that come up with it. And in closing, Catherine, again, thank you so much. It's always great to chat with you and see how the weather is up there and enjoy a glass of wine. Thank you so much. Cheers.
Always a pleasure.